This is a demonstration of the SmartDraft tool cross-section from points. When you select the command, the first thing that is required is an alignment. You will specify an offset tolerance from that alignment where it will find points that are considered important for a cross-section. When it finds those points, you specify a section width that anything that falls half that distance either side of that point, 5 feet, so 2.5 feet either side, for a total of 5 feet, will be considered part of that cross-section. It's going to create a surface from those points, aligning those points into one cross-section, placing that cross-section surface on a layer, and it will allow you to select one of the styles that you have. I'm specifying none, but we'll pick something different so that you can actually see the surface and the contours of that surface. It's going to create sample lines of the same name as the surface so that it can tie all the pieces together. What layer name those Civil3D sample lines will be created on, what style, depending on what styles you have, and what label styles you have in your sample lines, and then how far off either side of the alignment it will consider points that will be added. So the green line here represents about 55 feet, so I want to grab further. But any of these points that are outside, they will be filtered out because of this value right here. You'll notice at the bottom that you'll have many methods, all point numbers by typing in a range, typing in a group, or in this case, I'm just going to select by window. It processes those points, sticks them into a dialog box as cross-sections, and gives those cross-sections a particular station. That station may not be rounded to an exact value. As you can see here, station 1012, 1050. You can select all those and use this command here to round those to the nearest foot. So quickly, all those cross sections now have been rounded to the nearest foot. But then you may find one that is rounded down instead of up. Double click on that to look at the cross section and actually come in here and type a new to the nearest foot if that's appropriate or not. Now we have sections that seem to be much nicer, but then we have this interesting section that if you were to look at the edits, we have the sewer manholes and gas valves. So those points, more than likely, are not considered a real cross-section, so we can delete them. But notice the sections that are near. Here we have 9 points in that section, 9 points in this section. The moment you delete one, if these points fall within the 5-foot width tolerance of either of these, those points will be added to that section. So you saw 2 of those points went over. So if you want to look, you can see the 2 gas valves got added. So you can go over here and actually remove those points from the section. You can actually look what the section looks, gives you a preview. Now, once you're satisfied with all of the sections, you can look at each one individually, see that there's no points that should not be in there, maybe some trees over here or various volts that may be in there that you don't want to be considered in your cross-section. Select OK to take and create a surface from these sections, and what it's going to do is actually make a section, not using these points, but using the values from those points, but placing them right along that cross-section value so that they all fall exactly at that station. So it's processing those points. You see that it created a surface. It created the section lines out to 56 feet because that's the value that was specified in the first dialog box. And then it's going to tell you that there's an additional step necessary. Unfortunately, we're not able to make the association between that new surface and the section lines. So this says you need to associate the surface with those section line group. In your prospector, you would need to come over here to your alignment, in this case main, find that section line group, properties, over here in sections, sample from, pick that surface that was just created. So now the actual surface is associated with those section lines. And then now you can actually create from your home tab section line views. I'm not going to walk you through that step, but here's exactly what you ended up with. Sections from the section views. You see it's the same surface here that we have from the other file, but here I've already actually output my section views that was created. SmartDraft did add in the profile tools a section view label tool so that you can specify the section view and pick points, label more on this type of setup if you want to. They're going down in this particular case, but if I was to change the options, I could have them go up instead of down. Change the prefix change if you want to have the elevation in front of the offset, and label these various pieces. And these are in a dynamic fashion, so you can move them over and get them out of the way. You can copy them, and they would take on the value of the new place. They're dynamic, where they actually change the value. So wherever that point is, you actually move it to key point. It would get you the right offset and elevation for that. You can use the change label direction and flip it to the other side. And if you'd like, you can change the node value. Double clicking on them allows you to change some values too. That is both the cross-section from points tool and the new label section views tool also.